Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 158 of Classic Elite. My name is Scott. I've got Dustin with me. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. I played some video games. Video game.
You finally played some games. And I just updated them?
Right, yeah.
Very cool. And we have a very special episode. So here in a couple of minutes, we are going to roll into an interview with KBJ Games. And if you're not familiar with KBJ Games, you will be after this interview. They have a new game that's launching here very soon called Devil's Bluff. It's not a local, but it's a co-op game that is a murder mystery in a mansion. So I can't wait for you guys to hear about it. I've watched some videos on it. It looks like a lot of fun. And maybe in the future, we will be doing kind of a Let's Play with the developers on our YouTube channel. So keep an eye out for that. Dustin, this is an interview that I mentioned a couple weeks ago, but I kind of was a little coy about it. So maybe about a month or so ago, I said, yeah, we're going to have some guests on. And, well, last week we were supposed to happen and didn't work out. And luckily, in crunch time, they were able to take a break for us this week. So we had Brandon and Keyur on, and they were awesome. So I know that you'll enjoy the interview very much. So, Dustin, before we jump into the interview, what's new? What's been going on?
Well, you said I didn't just update them. It's pretty funny. I actually did have to update my PS4 before I could play.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because
it was already downloaded.
That's right. They had some sort of a patch when I turned on my PS4 today. Yes, I turned on the PS4. Yeah. There was a patch to, like, firmware 3.10 or something like that.
Yeah.
So, work good? You find any hidden walls with CDI games?
Not yet. I'm still looking.
Okay.
I haven't found any video game paraphernalia in a week. I did pick up a bit of a cold, though. I'm kind of sniffly.
Oh, jeez. Well, then I'll do all the talking, like I normally end up doing, because I'm a dickhead sometimes. So, but anyways, there's some stuff I want to ask you about, so we'll get into that here in a little bit. Let's not waste any more time, and let's get into the interview that we have with KBJ Games and his Brandon and Keyur. We will be right back. Oh, for our YouTube listeners, just go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Classic Elite, and you'll be able to see a separate video of this interview. For our audio listeners, lucky you, it's going to be all in one take. So here they are. And we're back. So yes, that was actually a really, really fun interview. Mm-hmm. You know why I wasn't too nervous about it, Dustin?
What's that?
They're Ohio guys.
Yeah.
And they celebrate Halloween appropriately.
So they're not fascists.
They're not fascists. So yeah, man. I was going through news the other day, and I thought of you. So have you seen anything about this new kind of arm of Chrome OS? And it runs on really low power, old computer hardware.
Cool.
Like, I think that Windows 2000 PC you found, that laptop, might be able to run this new operating system. The whole purpose behind it is so that schools can recycle and repurpose their old machines.
That's awesome, dude.
Isn't that a great idea?
Yeah, that's a great idea.
So, yeah, I almost sent you the article, and then I was like, oh, I'm in the middle of Google Plus. I don't want to copy and paste, and I'll just talk about it on the show.
That's awesome.
But I've got an old Toshiba satellite from 2008.
Okay.
That I've put 2 different versions of Linux on it. I've tried to build a little FTP client or FTP server for us where we could use FTP clients and share giant files with one another before I had bandwidth caps. All that fun stuff. Now I think I'm going to turn it into a little bit of a Chromebook. Why not?
Yeah. Why not? Yeah, absolutely. When is that? Is it available now?
I think so, yeah. I'll dig up that article and send it to you.
Sweet. dude, I'll burn an install disk and get to work on that laptop.
Yeah, you can do it from web browser. I think it's like a Chrome extension, or you can do it through a USB flash.
Sweet. All right.
So, yeah, I'm definitely gonna do it. I think it looks pretty cool. There was something else, but I can't quite remember. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and move on into news. So we have 4 quick bullet points for news, and then we'll talk about what we've been playing. Since the interview was so good, Dustin and I have decided that it's going to be a shorter episode from the standpoint of it's just him and I.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, we're tired of recording for the night, so it just kind of worked out that way. Thank God they were such a good interview. We might have had a dud of a show.
Yeah.
But Dustin, YouTube is getting paid subscriptions.
We can solid. Let me try that again. We can finally start making that money.
We can finally start making that money, that Spotify money.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if this is true or not, but I think I saw that PewDiePie was going to be on a reality show that's going to be part of this ad-free subscription service. That might be exclusive to that. So obviously I'm getting it.
Yeah.
And you should too, so you know how to instruct him when he's working for you later.
That's right. I'm gonna throw in here's my 2 cents. Piece of the pie. That's the title.
Piece of the pie?
Yeah.
Oh. I like that. Piece of the pie. PewDiePie.
None of my checks.
Would you I guess it's going to be about $10 a month. I saw this on Kotaku. I don't know, man. $10 a month to turn off ads on YouTube.
It's better than Hulu.
Yeah, I think the Hulu no ad version is what, like $12 or $15 a month.
It's not the paid version because I've paid for Hulu before and still had to watch cartoons.
Oh no, they just launched this as another tier.
Oh, that's stupid.
It costs even more. Yeah, I don't know. My problem with the Hulu ads wasn't that there were ads, even though I paid for it, because I felt like I was getting a lot of television available to me for $8 a month. My problem is they would show one ad 8 times.
Yeah, that
shit drove me just absolutely nuts.
Yeah, that sucks.
Now, I'm a Google Music subscriber, so I don't get YouTube ads on my music videos I play. That's kind of cool. But I'm not about to give Google $20 a month to not have ads on YouTube because I already have Google Play or whatever. I don't mind watching ads. I think YouTube handled ads really well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's pretty rare that you can't skip them. You can skip them. I don't know, and you don't really need to run ad block on it. Like, they don't have ads all over. It's not like when you go to the Weather Channel with ad block on, and it says, like, we've blocked 3,000 ads. You know what I mean? God, Weather Channel is just... I love the information the Weather Channel gives. I absolutely hate how they present it.
Yeah. You could die in a tornado by the time you figure out what's going on.
By the shit loads, and yeah. And they have, like, tabloid clickbait shit all over. It's weird.
That's the weirdest thing. At the bottom of the Weather Channel?
Yeah.
Where it's like, which celebrity needs a diet?
Yeah.
Like, what does that have to do with whether or not it's going to rain tomorrow?
I don't know. So, I just thought that was interesting, and since gaming is so big on YouTube, I thought it was pertinent to bring up.
Yeah.
So, have you been hearing much about the Steam controller?
Mm-mm. No. The only thing that comes to mind is a cartoon someone drew where the haptic feedback were portals that you put your thumbs through, and the analog sticks were Gabe Newell's nipples.
That's awesome. Okay, I'm back in love with the Steam controller now. No, I mean, people have been lukewarm at best. I don't hear people dogging it. I don't hear them saying, like, oh my god, this sucks. This is a piece of shit. Like, I don't want to use it. But I'm not hearing anybody rave about it. And I'm not getting one now.
Yeah.
I thought I'd be an early adopter on this one.
I think we figured controllers out.
See, that's the problem. And I now, after Doghouse sent me this PC a couple years ago, I'm used to PC controls now. I like mouse and keyboard, and I like controllers. Excuse me, I like controllers. So, yeah, they're kind of solving a problem that doesn't really exist, right? So, I was just wondering what you had heard of it. Today is October 21st, 2015. And we wouldn't be children of the 80s if we didn't at least mention that today's Back to the Future 2 day.
Yeah. I've been thinking about that all day.
Because you checked Facebook?
Mostly just because it's like we're going to be moving past what we thought was the future.
What we thought was the far future.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's a really weird feeling.
I completely agree with you on it. And the reason that it is pertinent to our podcast today is in Europe, they released Wild Gunman, which was the game that Marty McFly played in the 80s cafe, where Elijah Wood makes his little cameo in Back to the Future 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's right there at that scene.
You got to use your hands.
It's baby's toy.
Man, such a good movie.
I liked all three of them. One's my favorite. Have you watched the Blu-ray?
Yes, but it was like 2 or 3 years ago.
So the extras have the alternate ending of Back to the Future, the first one. Mm-hmm. And it utilizes driving the DeLorean into an atomic bomb explosion.
That's awesome.
Isn't it? But because of budget, they had to come up with a different way to do it. And they came up with the lightning and having it all take place right there in downtown Hill Valley. Mm-hmm. It actually saved them a ton of money and kept them under budget, or kept them in budget, or something like that.
That's awesome. Today on, I watched the first half of it. Today on Netflix, the documentary called Back in Time about the movies.
Oh, nice.
Is available for streaming.
I'll have to watch that. Huey Lewis in the News, baby.
Mm-hmm. He's in there.
Back in Time. I love that song.
It actually has, like they're talking, it's kind of a bummer when you have a documentary about like a movie and they don't have any of the actual stars that were in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
But this does. It has like, they got Steven Spielberg to talk about it, Robert Zemeckis, Michael J. Fox.
Awesome.
Like everybody that's actually in it is there and like giving their 2 cents. It's really, it seems like it's really good.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. Yeah, I'm a sucker for them. I think those movies are great.
Mm-hmm.
They each are great in their own ways. Which is your favorite one?
I'm partial to 2. Well,
are you?
I don't know. Because like one thing growing up in the 80s, I'm a total sucker for the idealized way that they saw the 50s.
Oh, okay.
And all of that it had to have stemmed from the first Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Like every cartoon you watched had some sort of idealized, like an episode that idealized the 50s of like, you know, going to the diner and the sock hop and like leather jackets. And so I don't know, maybe the first one is.
I was going to say, it sounds like you're describing the first one, except for when they go back to the Enchantment Under the Sea dance. That's what it was. I liked the first one better, but when I was younger, I liked the second one better because of the gadgets. Yeah, and I'm a sucker for gadgets. But now that I'm an adult and I've rewatched them, like there's so many plot holes and dumb things about Back to the Future. Like Back to the Future 2 never needed to happen if Doc Brown would have said, "Hey Marty, don't get in a race against Biff." When he calls you a chicken, and your whole life won't fucking suck. That's all he had to do. He could have done that in the driveway with the DeLorean, and it would have been back to, because everything was back to normal then.
Yeah.
It's like, well, okay. So the whole thing didn't need to happen, but it did, and it was great, and I like that movie. So, and then the last thing that I wanted to talk about, Dustin, new Super Mario, or I'm sorry, there's a new speed run record for Super Mario Brothers 1. The guy beat it by 66 milliseconds.
Man, that's probably a huge gap in speedrunner terms.
I'm not gonna lie, man. There were 2 instances where I thought, "Ooh, he could have done that better."
Oh yeah,
Not that I could have.
right. That he could. Right.
That someone of that skill, like there are times where he jumps the right pixel through a piranha plant. Like it's nuts. Do you remember in the 8th world when you're in the final castle 8-4?
Mm-hmm.
And at one point there is a piranha plant that is in a tube, and the tube's kind of in the air, and there are some. Oh, sorry. Did you hear that?
A little bit.
Okay. Sorry, listeners. I hit my pop filter. So, anyways, and there are 2 little turtles jumping around. Well, anyways, there are 2 invisible blocks that you hit to jump up to get inside of the pipe, right?
Mm-hmm.
This guy jumps on the corner of the block that the pipe is sitting on and then is able to jump up onto the pipe. And does it perfectly first try, one run. And he did it on the original NES. He didn't do an emulator.
That's awesome.
He wasn't a punk like me. Because they had Contra on the emulator.
It's just practice.
It was. I beat it on the original. I beat it without using the code on the original NES, so I felt like I could cheat a little bit and take the easy road and use an emulator. Didn't use save states, but it was more convenient, I guess. Maybe it wasn't cheating. So, but that was it as far as news was concerned. So, what have you been playing, man?
I finished the Alan Wake the book. Remember I told you I was reading the novelization?
Yeah.
I finished it, and I read at the end of the book that it was actually the author's first book, and it was good. It didn't take any liberties. It makes me wonder how many restrictions he had during the writing, but yeah, it was good. It was good retelling of the story.
Cool.
I beat that game like 2 or 3 years ago at this point, I think. So
maybe even more.
Yeah. It was good to kind of rehash the story in my head.
Sweet.
So yeah, if you're interested at all, it's worth a read. Like if you got a plane ride or a car ride or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Until Dawn finally updated, and I got to play that. And that game is pretty cool.
Wait, do you mean like it's all right, pretty cool, or you said that funny?
It's
like you're hesitant to be like it's awesome.
I am. I enjoy it, but we'll just go ahead and go to the but. There's a couple of things. It talks about the butterfly effect, which is like you make one choice here, and it like changes all these other choices. It even mentions literally in the dialogue of the game the butterfly effect. So I tend to find myself thinking more about what my other decisions would have made happen than the decision that I actually made. But not so much that I'm super distracted. The game looks great. Like all the people, I see the actors and actresses and I recognize them.
Oh, okay.
Like Hayden Panettiere is like you see her and you know, okay, yeah, that's the cheerleader. There's also the guy who I don't know what else he was in other than he was in Need for Speed and he stripped naked in his job. But it was that Need for Speed was a really weird movie, but I recognized him not because of his nudity in the game. He just has a recognizable face. And it's very much like it also, as I'm playing it, it makes me wonder if there's a definitive ending, like if there's a story that they are telling, or if it's like I choose A, so like the ending is someone is just talking off the top of my head, someone is possessed by something and they're killing people. Or I choose B and it turns out it was a slasher and it was the brother the whole time or something like that.
Oh, okay.
So it makes me wonder if there's like a definitive ending or what. So I am a little curious about that. And one gripe I do have is they all get to the cabin in the woods, of course.
Naturally.
And they immediately split up, of course.
Naturally.
And it's a guy and his girlfriend. They're heading off to a second cabin in the woods. And the whole time, it is stupid sexual innuendo. It's like they're walking in the snow and he's like, man, it sure is cold out here. And she's like, oh, I can think of ways to warm you up. Then something happens. He's like, man, you almost scared the pants off me. And she's like, oh, I'll get the pants off you later because sex. And I think they're doing
that's
it.
what you meant. Sex.
I think they're doing it because otherwise it would be weird to have these two characters walking and not speaking at all.
Yeah.
But I would prefer it because the dialogue makes me want to kill them purposely. But I don't know. It's still interesting. Lots of jump scares. I'll definitely finish it.
Cool.
I'm enjoying it. And I haven't played it yet, but Mike T went through with his Taken King purchase and sent me the code for it.
He's the best.
Yeah, he's awesome.
You know
Thanks,
what he
Mike.
did for me? So Cartoon Retrocast, I'm a fan, right?
Uh-huh.
And in their after show, they watch movie trailers and talk about movie trailers sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this week, Star Wars came out. And you know how I'm trying to stay dark?
Mm-hmm.
So he made a point to say, we're saving Star Wars for the end of the show. So that I can listen to the whole show and not have Star Wars spoiled for me. So I really appreciated that. I thought that was cool.
That's awesome. That's this Christmas, huh?
It is.
Man.
A couple months away.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Away.
I saw the original teaser and I haven't seen anything else.
I've seen some of it. So yeah, it should be cool. So Dustin, I got a text from you with a code for a demo of Triforce Heroes Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
How disappointing was that?
Is that over? Because I totally forgot about it.
So I tried to log in on several occasions.
Uh-huh.
And I could have sworn I logged in during one of the times that the servers were open.
Uh-huh.
And I would go into a room, it would be completely empty. There'd be nobody that I could pair up with, and I would say you can't play this game without two other people. That's my experience with it. Turning it on and them saying no, you can't play.
Man.
So I needed two friends locally. I'm like, I don't want to mess with that. So thank you for hooking me up with one of those codes.
Absolutely. I'm sorry it was a burning disappointment.
It was horrible. And so then, my buddy was in town this weekend. Then I had some other friends come from about an hour away to hang out. So we were all having a good time. Played some Fibbage and some Drawful.
Okay.
Always a big hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got a little bit of a gripe with Drawful.
Oh, no.
So for anybody that's never played Drawful, basically what happens is you're given a phrase, like board games, Netflix, something like that. And then you have to draw what that is, and then everybody tries to guess what you drew, essentially, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the things was vampire and onion. First of all, in what lore, not even to try to kill the vampire, but where does a vampire ever exist with an onion? It's garlic. Damn it. It's garlic. So I thought that was peculiar that was in there. It was like they just took 2 random words to see if someone could draw them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was a little disappointing. I am level 29 in Destiny. I've got 140 some odd light points. I have no idea what light points are, except once they finally get all the way up to 290, I can do the raid with people.
Okay.
I don't think I have much interest in doing the raid. I think when I get to that section, I'm going to go watch the Giant Bomb our video on the raid.
Yeah.
Just experience it that way. Because I don't really want... Unless, you know what, unless I can actually get people together. But as Mike T said last week, raids aren't for families.
That's true.
Destiny is owned by some people I know that have families. So I'm not going to be able to put a raid team together. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I might just YouTube the raid from that, at least the Taken King one. But I'm enjoying it. You know, the shooting is fun in that game.
Yeah.
The guns sound good. I found this shotgun that has like a delayed fire, but it's really powerful. And I just love the timing of it. You like pull the trigger and it charges and then sets off this big like pellet blast, like Mega Man X or something like that.
Cool.
Just neat. So I'm liking Destiny.
Yeah. I like punching dudes.
Oh, that's satisfying.
Yeah.
And then the last thing that I played this weekend, Dustin, or this week, Castlevania Bloodlines.
Yeah.
And you want to know why I played it? So, you know James Rolfe, the Nintendo nerd, right? So he's got a series called Mike and James Play Mondays, and his buddy Mike and he play old video games. It's a very well done series. It's like a 20-minute Let's Play, and they cover a couple of hours of gameplay. Like they chop it up and edit it down. Really nice the way they do it, I think.
Okay.
Well, they played Castlevania Bloodlines, and they got pretty far in it. And I totally forgot that my favorite song from Castlevania 4, that very first one that opens the game,
Theme of Simon.
I forgot that was in Bloodlines later in the game.
Yeah.
So I turned my stuff on easy. I put myself up to 5 lives. I couldn't get there.
Oh no.
I stink. But I had a lot of fun. I think that's going to be a goal of mine, is here over the next month, like I'll just go and play Bloodlines until I get to hear the Genesis version of that song. It's awesome.
I think that's at the very end.
It is. It's very close to the end. But Castlevania Bloodlines is an awesome video game.
Yes, it is.
The only thing that I don't like about it compared to the Super Nintendo one is you have to be in the air before you can whip diagonally. If you're on the ground, you can't whip diagonally.
Okay, yeah.
That's a bummer. That's just yeah. Otherwise, what?
To be fair, he's a Morris, not a Belmont, so he's not going to be as adept with the vampire killer.
That is the nerdiest thing that you said on the podcast. It is. And you know it.
It is. That might be the nerdiest thing I've ever said, period.
Well, guys, actually, you are going to open that rental store. You're going to sell comics. But, yeah, Castlevania Bloodlines, it's a fantastic game. It's super fun. Well, what I was doing was my Hapog Rocket quit working with my computer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I'm just the software isn't working with Windows 10 right. And I was trying to see if there was a software update to maybe capture at 60 frames a second.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the case. So I hooked everything back up to my old retro stuff. So I was trying out different games to record them to see if I could get it to work again. Mm-hmm. And it did. And so I got Bloodlines recording, and it's awesome. I love that game.
Okay, cool.
So if I ever get the spirit ever moves me and I want to make a retro video with my old stuff, I'm back to having the capability to do that. Sorry for the comma or colon.
Have you ever beat a Castlevania game?
Not a real Castlevania game. I've beat Lord of the Shadow and Lord of the Shadow 2.
Oh, all right, yeah.
but I have never beat 1, 2, or 3 on the NES, or Dracula X, or Super Castlevania 4, or Bloodlines, or any of the DS games. I've never beat Symphony of the Night. I didn't grow up playing those, so I'm only experiencing them as an adult.
Yeah.
They're great, though. I really like the Castlevania games. I wish I would have played them more as a kid. I think I would have loved them. I always thought it was a series. I had in my head that it was overrated. I'm wrong. Don't worry. I know. I was wrong. But I was like, it's just a whip. Like, whatever. And then as an adult, like, I've started listening to the soundtracks are unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
The difficulty curve is unfair at times, but it's so satisfying when you're successful that it's the best. It's just really, really good stuff. So no, I've never beaten one. So on the flip side, what's a Castlevania game that you haven't beat? Like, did you get into all the DS ones, like the Something on the Moon and all that?
Yeah, the Game Boy Advance ones, the DS one. Oh, you know what? The Dracula X on SNES. I haven't beat that.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a shocker.
But it's the one that I played the least.
You've beaten the real version of that, though.
Rondo, yeah.
Yeah. So
I beat the original and the remake.
Cool. So, all right, man. Let's see here. Did we get any emails?
Hey, I was gonna say.
Oh yeah.
I actually, speaking of Rondo, I've been talking to a guy about recapping my Turbo Duo.
Oh, I saw something on Twitter. You guys had a little bit of a back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And so is that going to happen? Is he going to be able to fix your?
Yeah. He said, like, I asked for, like, I want the audio fixed. I want him to go ahead and do all of my capacitors because they're all going to blow anyway. Mm-hmm. And like do like laser cleaning and gear relube. And he said all of that would be like around 135, I think.
Okay.
So that is not bad. That's about the price I was expecting for just the audio fix.
Oh, but you're getting the whole thing.
Yeah, but I'm getting the whole shebang.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, if I do pop on that and get it done, then I'll like do kind of like a review of like his services, I guess. I don't know.
Hell yeah. That's pretty awesome, man. So, at this point then, man, let's get to our YouTube comments and then we will call it a show. How's that sound?
Yeah, let's do it.
We did not get any emails from our good buddy Mike, but that's okay. We still love him.
He's probably like spending time with his family or some crap.
Doing stuff that actually matters.
Man.
So yeah, we'll get to our comments. We have a new commenter, Dustin. Christopher Clark.
Oh, yeah.
Which is cool. And it says it's edited, so it means he cares what he said. Big thumbs up. Chris.
Yeah, I like that.
Welcome to the podcast and comment all you want. We love it. So he says, I remember back when I was a game tester for Atari. Oh, wow, he's a game tester for Atari. That's awesome. I remember back when I was a game tester for Atari that companies like Sony or Microsoft had a book that lists standards and that developers had to follow before the games were able to be released. This included a number of bugs and types of bugs that the game can be released with. That's interesting. Seems these days are gone, and the developers are more concerned about the release dates now. I feel like the first day patch is a way for developers to patch bugs. He keeps saying develops, but it's throwing me off, so I'm saying developers.
Yeah.
For developers to patch bugs after the game has been released. I remember when I was able to pop a game in and play it. I wish I could go back to those standards. You know what? That comment gets a thumbs up from the Classic Elite account. 'Cause I agree, man. I like just being able to pop a game in and it worked.
Yeah.
I just
not having to wait for a 17 gig
so
update.
many. Yeah. Oh, that was rough. But it's working now, so it's been fun, and it's part of what it is now, and it sucks. But it's not like there were bug-free games back then.
True.
But I do like the fact that I just turn on my NES and I see the Konami load screen.
Yeah. But it's a great delineation. Like it feels great to just be able to flip a switch and something come on.
Yes.
You probably will never be able to do that as games become progressively more complicated.
Yeah, and there are full operating systems that are required for stuff.
Yeah. So I understand why we can't just have something to come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do love the fact that the simpler games still exist and we can just go back and hear that Konami jingle when it comes on.
Yes. But how cool, man. We have a old Atari tester listening. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That's very, very cool. And then, do you want to take Demez's comments or Zarek?
I'll do Zarek.
Okay.
He says, which Konami franchise would you buy up? My mind broke as Metal Gear was never spoken of. Yeah, I guess I just figured that it's Metal Gear has been like it's done. Like I wouldn't want to do anything else with it really.
Okay.
Well, maybe like full on 3D remakes of Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2.
Oh, okay.
That'd be kind of sweet, but at the same time, those MSX games are pretty sweet anyway. So, I'm also a big fan of Zone of the Enders, which I failed to remember. That I remember playing through the first game and being surprised that the second game got higher praise. Bomberman and Bloody Roar. Bloody Roar is another one that I forgot about.
I'm not familiar with Bloody Roar.
I think that was a fighting game that came out on the PS1. I don't know how many sequels it got. I think it got a sequel at least, but.
And Bomberman, that was associated with Konami at times. I thought that was Hudson. Was Hudson ever involved with Konami? Maybe they published it or something. And Hudson
that's what I was going to say. Maybe they published.
I don't know. That's interesting.
He says, I would love for Konami to sell their franchises. This reminds me of the Iga Kickstarter. Did either of you ever invest in Bloodstained? I did. Did you?
No.
I got that PS4 copy.
Oh, hell yeah.
I know you spoke about it before, but I forgot what you said. You can still do the slacker backer if you didn't invest. You can get most of the rewards even with late investments. That's pretty cool.
Those jerks.
You can still give them that money.
I can still do it. Oh, that has me tempted. I mean, it's obviously going to be a game that's going to be available for sale. It's not just for Kickstarters. So I think that's why I'm kind of holding off and not pre-ordering it. Not that I'm waiting for reviews. I'm just kind of waiting for. I've just bought a PS4. I bought a bunch of games. Like, I'm trying to cool it right now.
Yeah, you just got a Vita.
I got a Vita. I pre-ordered Legacy of the Void for StarCraft. I picked up Rocket League on PS4. So yeah, I'm being dumb right now.
Let's see. He goes on to say, something you said reminded me that I have some Steam hardware coming soon. I checked my email. The first Steam Link and Steam Controller pre-order units are scheduled to arrive over the next few days. That's the first line of the email I received only 4 hours ago. I'll be sure to let you guys know how I feel about the controller. I may even do a review, but it wouldn't fit well with my content. Who knows, man? You could branch out and start a whole new...
Yeah, absolutely. You never know. So... I would love, at the very least, please give us your impressions in our YouTube comments. We can talk about it.
Things that you like could get the Space Cat seal of approval.
Yes.
How awesome would that be?
Yeah.
Regarding recording gameplay, the 60 frames per second Elgato is very good. I use it for all my console recordings. There's also a new internal Elgato. I think it's really expensive though. I use NVIDIA Shadowplay for most of my PC recording because it's just so easy to use. I hit Alt F9 and I'm recording. It works with all NVIDIA GPUs later than the 760, I think.
Nice.
The video has a little bit of loss to it, but it uses almost no resources. The file sizes are also very small. That's a big thing for recording PC footage with your PC is
Yes.
it's not going to make your flipping fan explode. But if you really want to buy hardware, I can't recommend the Elgato enough. You can even do the capturing on a secondary device, so it uses almost no resources on your PC. Just run the USB out to a secondary device with the software installed. Wow, I didn't even think about the pink eye thing. Thanks for the Oculus advice. Let's see. A few more Walking Dead spoilers, so we might want to...
He says, I don't really spoil anything. I'm fairly vague, but some people are really good at figuring out stuff. Yeah, we'll say that for after Dumbasse's comments before we wrap up the show.
Sounds good.
It's something that we forgot to mention. Dustin, did you follow the finals of the Retro League tournament?
I did not.
Super Mario didn't win.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
So apparently, according to Hugh, I was listening to the Retro League like an episode or two ago, and apparently some Ease forum got wind of the contest. And they rallied like 50 or 100 votes or something. And he was like, well, that's fair.
Yeah.
It's an open contest of the internet, and the internet chose Ease. Isn't that cool?
Awesome. Holy cow.
Yeah, dude. I thought that was so sweet.
Dude, that's cool.
Yep.
Ah.
Good stuff.
Mario 3's better.
Sometimes the internet is just phenomenal. So, okay. Dumez writes in, our good buddy Dumez, Duhmez, and he goes, dude, bro, get a USB DVD writer. I got mine for $30 and it's so handy. I can just plug it into any PC that might need it, and it does not need an AC adapter, just the USB plug. That's pretty sweet. I don't anticipate needing an optical drive anymore. Maybe I should still pick one up just in case. But remember last week I told you I had to take my hardware installed one out and dangle it over the side of my other PC so I could... It was. I pulled a bunch of PC building no-nos. I had a PC sideways open on a comforter.
Oh, man,
Static electricity galore, wide open. I was plugging stuff in and out. It was my backup PC, so if I fried it, no big deal.
Man, throw in a leaf blower and you're basically describing my top.
Right? I saw some of the dust bunnies that I've got in my main rig when I opened it up, and it made me think, like, I know it's taboo, but I'm really about to get my vacuum cleaner out here and suck up some of these bad boys. So, and then he also says, y'all asked if there be some Wii games on the Wii U to download. There are, but not many. I have the first 3 installed. They were half price at launch, $10 each for Super Mario Galaxy 2, Metroid Prime Trilogy, great value. That is a good value. $10 for those.
Yeah.
And Wii Punch-Out. They're normally $20. A hot tip, too. If you have a Wii save on any of these, all you'll need to do is load the virtual copy game and the save data to the Wii. Then if you play the game on the Wii U menu, it actually grabs the save data from the virtual Wii, which is really cool. In other words, I was able to move my old game from Punch-Out from my Wii to my Wii U and play without the disc. That's pretty cool. New Game Plus is crazy on Punch-Out. Fucking Glass Joe kicked my ass a bunch of times. Way harder. I totally agree. When I played Punch-Out on Wii U, it was fun. I loved it. I was able to beat it, and I couldn't ever beat the NES game. And I couldn't beat Glass Joe either when I first played through New Game Plus.
Huh.
So, I don't think I got past him. I haven't gone past New Game, or I haven't made it through one match in New Game Plus.
Who's at the end of Punch-Out Wii?
I don't remember. I think Mr. Dream.
Okay.
I don't remember. I was going to grab the case, but that's not going to have the ending on the back. I'm an idiot. And then he goes, oh, and by the way, they also have DS games for Wii U download. That's right, DS. I downloaded New Super Mario Brothers, which is a great game. How it works is there are lots of configuration options. You can choose the gamepad to the lower screen, or you can have both screens on the TV the same size. Screens on the TV. I think he meant at the same time. Or you can have one another on the... Oh, I see what he's saying. Okay. So you can have both screens on the TV, same size. or he says of you can have one of the other big screens on the TV, but the small in the corner. Oh, in the corner of the small screen. So you can have both screens on the TV if you want. Totally configurable and awesome. Sorry, Dimas, I had a hard time reading that. I should make a video about this and post it so everyone can see how the DS works on the Wii U. I also got Yoshi's Island DS download installed, which is cool.
Maybe you can finally try some of those Castlevania DS games.
You know, I have some of those on a pirated version. I know. But I got
You're the reason
little,
Iga had to leave Konami.
I pretty much, because Konami's still selling that game. No, Tony hooked me up with those ROMs. I don't even know if you can get them anymore.
Huh.
But they're just sitting on my cart. I never played that thing. I really should. My little jailbroken. It's basically an emulator box with my DSXL.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of neat. So, all right. Well, I want to thank Chris Clark very much for writing in. I want to thank Zarek over at Zarek's Gaming Channel and Damez. Check out their stuff. You know what? Let me see. Does Chris Clark, is he a YouTuber? Let's find out. Little bit. Doesn't look like he posts much, so. But Chris, thanks a lot for writing in. If you ever start posting videos, let us know. We'll give you a shout out.
Word.
And at this point, then, Dustin, man, thanks for hanging tough for the whole episode, man. It was a long night of podcasting for us. But I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's been great.
Brandon and Keyur were awesome, so definitely can't wait to have them back on the show. And at this point, Dustin, I am going to... what song was I going to pick? It was... it's from Scattle. Remember, he's one of the guys that I mentioned that's part of the new Super Meat Boy soundtrack. And the more I've been playing that game, the more that soundtrack is growing on me.
All right.
It's not bad. It's not as good as the first, but it's cool. But Scattle has a song that he just put on his SoundCloud 3 hours ago called Shooting Stars. And I thought it was badass. So we're going to play that song here. I'd like to thank everyone very much for listening. You can catch us on iTunes and Stitcher. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Google+. Most importantly, YouTube. All you have to do at any of those services is type in Classic Leet and you'll find us. Dustin, the podcast user I use on my Android device, it even had us.
All right.
So I think once you've been around long enough, they just break down and list you.
Yeah.
They're like, fine, they've got 150 some episodes. We'll let them in our service. But yeah, I want to thank everyone very much for listening. Thank you very much to Ben Landis for letting us use his intro song, Through the Forest.
Are we still going to do Zarek's comment?
Oh, I always forget about the spoilers. Yes, spoilers. Walking Dead spoiler again.
Walking Dead spoilers, guys. I think he talks about season 5.
Okay.
So here we go. But he says he's pretty vague. As good as season 5 of The Walking Dead is, I'm scared to see that season 6 will be bad. They killed off too many interesting characters in 5. It made 5 really good, but they didn't introduce any new interesting characters to replace them. I really like the gay couple. They're the only interesting ones added. Rick's new love interest makes me very angry. We don't need a Lori 2.0.
He's got a type, man.
Yeah. The one thing I do like is that is Alex Breckenridge, who was the the sexy maid on American Horror Story season 1.
I never watched that. But sexy maid, I'm okay.
Yeah, Google American Horror Story sexy maid and
what was her name? Alex something?
Yeah, Alex Breckenridge, I think.
Alex
but
Breckenridge.
do a safe search on.
Oh, she's pretty.
But he says, we don't need a Lori 2.0. We all know what's going to happen to her. She's going to die, and Rick will get all mopey again. Season 5 was also filled with foreshadowing of new villains for Season 6. They don't seem interesting to me. So we have a new group of mostly uninteresting characters to replace the interesting ones killed, and a new group of uninteresting bad guys. As good as Season 5 was, I'm still going into Season 6 with low expectations.
It's probably for the better.
Yeah.
That way you're either right or it'll be better than you thought, and then that'll be a nice surprise.
Yeah.
So.
I kind of like, since we're talking spoilers, I'll get a little more in depth. The Lori 2.0 that he's talking about is a married woman with a kid, and Rick is kind of talking about how, like, he there are reasons for him to want to get rid of the guy besides just her, but I thought it was interesting that he killed Shane because Shane wanted to kill him for
and now
Lori.
He's Shane.
Yeah, now he's Shaning it up in the Season 5.
Interesting. Maybe I will have to go watch that. So, all right. Well, everyone.
It's a crying Shane.
Oh, God, Dustin. If we didn't have a guest on, you would have nailed the title of the episode there. So, crying Shane. God, go home. All right. So, everyone, again, thank you very much for listening. We really appreciate it. I want to thank KBJ Games for coming on the show. They were awesome. Super fun interview. Keep an eye out for Devil's Bluff and go buy it when it comes out. And, yeah, everyone enjoy this song by Scattle. It's called Shooting Stars. We will see you next week for episode 159.
Boosh.